Ooh, straight away, I know what you're looking for. Where these boars located? Ooh, they're not centralized. They're actually pretty loose, north and south side. I feel like we usually see one on the upper ground most of the time, right?
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised as well. Huh, also the deer next to it at the top, so not a long distance to walk if Viper wanted to go for the one at the top. And Cliff, I think Viper won't be too unhappy with this.
I think the only thing Viper's going to be a little bit frustrated about is the southern boar is closer to PuppyPaw. Because otherwise, he could have actually pulled the boar to the wood line and got the double value looking for as the roost. Might be a little bit difficult on this one.
But he has to be super happy with how he is running into those deer with his first 2 scouts. Look at that, now some dance here, double wolf helping out as well. Viper gets that deer as well.
So filthy. So filthy. It feels so bad when, like, the worst one is when both players' arrows are in mid-flight like that, and he just gets it again. And I don't think PuppyPaw's getting in this. He's too busy attacking the scout. So I think that was 6, if not all the deer going the way of Viper. And then on top of that, the wolf aggro, one of them is on him. So he can just draw back. There's nothing that PuppyPaw can do about this. And because Viper moved to the deer on the south side as well first, he's already found additional value down there.
Yeah, I think it was 6 for him there. Now contesting that wolf. Oh, that's going to be tricky. 4 more shots needed. Who's getting the last shot? 3, 2, 1.
Oh, he didn't fake pump. Damn, I thought Viper was going to fake pump. He's been really good at this recently when I've seen him playing the roost on the ladders. Like, he's very good at just, like, kind of throwing people off on that final shot with the wolf. But it looks like he'll just go for the safer value in the center onto the deer. Needs to be careful of the wolves. Oh, one more
8
hit.
HP.
Can't get him, though. Just about gets out of range. This is so efficient, actually. Like, how many people would still hang around with a wolf trailing and sheep trailing with 10 HP? I wouldn't. Would you?
No way, no way. I'm way too scared. But I also don't watch horror movies, so.
I mean, you know, just taking the dog for a walk in that situation, right? Like, I thought you maybe would go for a Nili. I mean, you play poker, right? But you need reasonable odds. You're not just going to be a gambler. It just feels like Viper is really playing with fire when he makes these moves.
But I always wait for aces before I go all in. And Viper, he even takes a look with Queen Jack offsuit or something.
No.
So,
He's going with the
he-
7 deuce, my friend. It's the 7 deuce. He's bluffing you off.
Okay.
But, you know, he always hits the straight on the river. Right now, people are like, stop with the poker terms. It's like, okay. We need to use in-game terms that are understandable, Nili.
Okay. So basically, he plays HRE and goes double town center, and doesn't river the straight.
No, I was thinking more like he goes Chinese on open map and goes like 4 TCs into Song Dynasty.
Ooh.
Like, because that's the thing. He's looking for a real big upside when he does this, but there is a lot of risk. And it looks like this time around, PuppyPaw, he will kill one of his own kind. It's kind of sad to watch. At the end of this, Viper did get 265 bounty, which is respectable. And he still has the balls to contest with, but it does mean he won't be able to get the tier 3 bounty. But most importantly, it does mean he's got over 200 surplus gold for free in his eco.
Only 31 for the hunting cabin there. We have seen better. I'm a bit disappointed, but maybe it's also the setup to build a better hunting cabin later on.
Exactly. There you go, yeah. Because, you know, hunting cabin doesn't really sound like it should be making the money. High trade house. That sounds like something I could get behind. We'll have to see if he goes towards it here. It is possible that he wants to as well, because PuppyPaw's playing the Chinese. It's one of those civs that's very surprisingly annoying to contest on relics, because they can supervise the temple. So if you both castle at the same time, you are actually going to be behind the Chinese player in this matchup these days.
Oh,
There's
Imperial
the ball.
Academy actually pretty slow there. Also not being built by too many villagers. Interesting position of the hunting cabin as well. Cancel it. And as you can see, only 3 villagers. Imperial Academy relatively late. Now pulls the wolf towards the wood line. Or towards the deer.
I don't, like, he's like, trees? Any trees? 1 tree, that'll do. Oh, so you could get the 2 tree value on the hunting cabin. Damn, the levels of efficiency from Viper.
I think it's mainly that it's next to the deer.
Yes, definitely. I'm just adding in the next layer here, folks. Oh, scout. Ooh, one more tap. Can he get it? Yep. Gets him down. Does lose the scout for it.
Revenged.
All right, so this is pretty nice overall. So he's going to get the deer, the boar, and then, of course, most importantly, the 2 trees as well. So Overall, not a bad play from Viper. It does cost him 1 villager, but the difference is made up in the ball gathering rates. Ball gathering rates are 0.9 food per second compared to villagers on sheep at 0.75. So if you'd like to do the maths on that, just mash your head against the keyboard and on the calculator, you'll realize that it's actually enough to make up for 1 villager difference.
Okay. You can maybe do the math without smashing your head, but... Oh,
Really?
Whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But if you prefer that way, then go ahead.
I just like buying a new keyboard every month, clearly.
Or a new head.
I don't think I can afford one of them. Let's see if Viper can afford this, though. Going into the night at this stage, kind of respectable. I see where he's coming from. Like, especially with this play in the north. If he starts to condense things into the center, he could have that kind of flow. I'm a little bit worried that up against the Chinese, this is a bit of a throwaway choice, though, just because of how quickly they can knee-jerk react to what you build, right, with the supervise.
Still, like, we need to see something from Chinese first, right? Or is this a fast castle play? Is this... Oh, this looks more like Song Dynasty, if I look at the resources.
Yeah, Song makes more sense. I feel like fast castle hasn't been working out that well for the Chinese at the moment. Like, the Nesta Bees make sense against some composites, but especially if Viper's going to push knights, do you really want Nesta Bees?
More against low HP, small units that are really clumped up. No, it's not typically having those characteristics.
Yeah.
Walled off now at the bottom. And this is a really passive game. And we have to question, like, who is benefiting from that? Like, Viper, yeah, uncontested boars is nice. But Chinese, if they can get to the death ball with Song Dynasty, gets tricky for Roos.
I think the Roos is kind of deceptively strong on this specific map, though, in the late game, because there's so much wood. And that is the resource they get 20% more of. So, you know, although the Roos late game got nerfed a little bit, I think in conjunction with things like cheaper hand cannoneer units with their Streltsy, they do have somewhat of an edge. And while the Nesta Bees is still a concern, I feel like you have to reach that critical mass. So maybe if they both go kind of like AFK for 10, 15 minutes... You kind of feel like, yeah, you get 8 Nesta Bees, you feel good about the game. But how often do you get 8 Nesta Bees for free, Nili?
Not really. Well, especially if you feel like, okay, pushing for that one single sacred site in the center and for all the gold spots is a really likely scenario. So I think we will see more fighting in Castle Age there. It's not like we will boom to Imperial Age and everyone will get to like pop 200 and can choose their perfect army compositions.
Yeah, I think getting stuck in the mud isn't good for Viper here. Like, going Imperial feels a little bit better, just because if you rely on Castle heavily, like PuppyPaw can Stonewall and you can't. So you actually can't block out his potential to raid. He can still have his. Whereas if you're on like Imperial, Stonewalls are whoop-de-doo. One bombard just deletes them. So it becomes less of a reliable defense on your flanks.
Okay, so what are the next steps here of the players? PuppyPaw. Double Town Center, so he knows, okay, my economy will be better. Viper, big question, like, what landmark will he choose? Because High Trade House is an option, with keeping that corner free, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
But also, if he feels, okay, I might have an advantage in Castle Age timing, securing those relics is very Viper-esque. I don't really know what his game plan is going to be.
Nice play there, actually, by the way, from PuppyPaw. It's like, okay, you've walled yourself in. I'm just going to plop an outpost here. So it gets denied on the board. Only got about 600 food out of it as well. But yeah, in terms of his play, it's an interesting thing to raise around the landmarks because a lot of players in this situation, I feel, would go High Trade House. But we also know that Viper, he has a little bit of a kink for relics, right? Like, I don't think I've seen any player so consistently fixate over relic gathering at the beginning of Castle Age as Viper. So he might just want to get that a little bit quicker and a little bit cheaper, because the other benefit of the Abbey of Trinity is not only you build a monastery by default by building it, it's also that it costs half the amount to build warrior monks out of it.
Yeah, and mobility is nice. You don't need that many of them. Now let's take a look. Some quick bolts, but no, nice slipping through.
I don't know how they got through there. I'm pretty sure you lose your rider on a slip through that fin, but works out for him. Pushes in, denies some equity here, forces the garrison out, and remember, although he may not kill many of the villagers here, it's the fact that now PuppyPaw isn't gathering with over 10 villies.
Now back to work, and look at that. Actually, the battering ram against the walls there. So Viper wants to make something happen in Feudal Age, but PuppyPaw will get quite a nice early notice. We'll have a good idea that this one is coming, because I think the ram, or is it just to clear up the tower?
I think it's the tower, because he wants the boar, right? Like, we just highlighted how good the gathering rates are. So it makes sense. It's not the best, like, exchange on its own, right? It's 300 wood versus 100 wood. But the gains of getting back on the deer and boar kind of exceed that. And it allows him to delay the point at which he has to go farmlands, which is, I think that's probably the biggest detail that I've noticed about this map compared to Old King of the Hill, is going and transition to farms is actually a very dangerous choice compared to what it used to be.
Oh, you have to explain that. Why would that change?
It's the high ground reach, right? Because you're like, if you think about new King of the Hill versus old, you're a lot more budgeted on the room. And you end up with a lot more exposed eco, potentially. Like, we've seen this from Abbasid players when they tried to, like, farm boom after, like, 15 minutes. If you have, say, a Treb or something like that on the high grounds here, protected by a cliff, they can reach in and kill all the buildings. Whereas the old King of the Hill didn't really have that same layer of natural protection for siege.
Okay. Okay, I can see that. We have a really tight base for PuppyPaw when it comes to natural resources, though. Like, he has 1 gold in the bag. That stone might be contested. Viper feels like he has more control. He also goes for professional scouts, but only 2 scouts. Maybe he might even lose that one at the right-hand side. So right now, only 1 single scout on the map that could collect all those carcasses.
It's a cost-efficient solution if he does get all the carcasses, which, I mean, in fairness, he might. I don't think PuppyPaw is going to go into the deer anytime soon, right? Like, he's kind of already been a bit overly defensive with the wall to the north and south. And here we go, baby. High trade house time. It's time to calculate what are we getting for this one.
Ooh, well, let's count. And this is the moment where we need the chat. Guys, we are tier 2. Building high trade house. Might go to tier 3 at one point. Give me your numbers in the chat. I will say 179.
172.
Ooh.
I went 3 up from what, you know, the
Drum
immature
roll.
choice here. Here it comes. We don't
Drum
care about
roll.
everything else. This is all that matters. Make me some money.
Drum roll. Oh, you see even the was excited.
And it's a... What? Without tier 3? Oh my god. Open this guy's Swiss bank account. He's about to do some offshore trading.
Seems like it. And yeah, we need to take a close look if he's paying taxes on that, because that looks pretty brutal. And now some contests here in the center. And Viper, yeah, just think about like, and this one instantly pays as well, right? In the other case, you need to build that warrior monk. You need to collect 3 relics. He also can get to tier 3 this way.
Yep.
So like, great choice.
And also keep in mind that like this was something extra, right? The relics can still be contested. If you went for them, you maybe get 3. If you like only get 2 now, you're still up on that, right? Like the logic is if you think you're still going to grab relics first, which you are because PuppyPaw. By the way, we're so focused on the fact Viper went castle. Notice PuppyPaw's still not there yet. It means that Viper, knowing how he plays as well, is likely to drop a monastery and still pay out for those pricey warrior monks to go yoink himself some additional passive income. And there it is.
And you know him well, indeed. 40 food, 200 gold, though. Obviously gets that 200 gold pretty quickly. But I think I'd be the frugal one there and only go for 1 warrior monk.
I see. So Viper, because like basically he's just kind of that person who just came into millions, right? And he's just like down the club 24/7. He buys a yacht, and you're his accountant. You've got the nice little accounting glasses on. You've got your little typewriter. You're like, no, I don't think we can afford more than 1 warrior monk right now. Viper's just like, blow it all. I got more to spend. And wow, this is a really nice move actually, because Puppy needs this food. I don't think he's transitioned to farms yet, so this is actually going to sting his gatherings heavily.
How did Viper know that he has a timing here? Feels so weird. Yeah, he has proper lancers that are pushing this away, or knights, and now a ram even. We need to see an expansion towards the food there at the bottom.
Knock, knock. Viper came to play. Ramification's going to increase, and the Zhug Noop. It's a big noop from Viper. Just too much ranged armor on these knights. And now you see the instant adjustment. Triple stables going up for PuppyPaw. He does, of course, have the supervise ability, which will allow him to turn one of those stables into 2.5 with the Imperial Official. But he's going to need a solution soon, and it is going to be those Nesta Bees we talked about. Getting there, though, it's a little bit more problematic. We already said it's not good against the Knights, and there's no way Viper's going to let you build 8 of those up for free.
Yeah, well, food income also not super crazy, right? This one still not on deer. Farm count still not very high. And PuppyPaw, triple stable, 83 villagers. But if he wants to keep his TCs running, I
Also,
don't see a lot of knights coming out.
by the way, if we check on that ram, there's something really important to highlight here, Nili. You asked me a question earlier on if it's worth the ram, and I believe it's about to earn back its cost in wood with this building.
Nice.
Viper, the long way around. It took several more minutes than most people are looking for the value of a ram, but does end up paying its full cost in the end.
Yeah. Also remember, PuppyPaw did invest into both upgrades there in Fuel Age. More HP plus arrow slits. So quite some extra investment even in that one. And Viper takes control over the sacred site in the center. Valued that over the relic control. And still only one warrior monk from him. And this looks like he wants to finish this one in Castle Age.
Yeah, and he's still very strong because I think when you look at the economy numbers, it's very deceitful. You're not really kind of giving it the full value of all the passive incomes he's got, the 20% digital drop-off, which is kind of equating out to the supervision. Like, overall, I think it's closer to, especially with that ridiculous high trade. It's more like Viper has 60, maybe 65 villies. And PuppyPaw is also starting to lose efficiency when he keeps idling running between these new lines where he gets harassed. And oh baby. Hold up. Did I just see that number correctly on the hunting cabin? That just jumped. Was that 39? Did that say 393? Or did I look too quickly there?
Might have been. I thought it was 295 before. 393.
Oh my
God! Moly!
So Viper's going to ask us to delete this VOD afterwards, just in case he gets pulled up in court for tax evasion. Because that is ridiculous. And that cannot be legal.
It shouldn't be. Certainly shouldn't be. Let's take a look. Keep trying to get up. Knights are coming in. Crossbows behind. Not the best engagement here for PuppyPaw, especially with those two towers around.
Yep, and now this fight. New line of knights coming in. It's not going to work out. PuppyPaw looking to get that keep up quickly. Luckily for him, the ranged units are not focus firing onto the villagers. Now Nesta Bees. Trev showing up as well, even trying to snipe out some units. Not really what it's used for. It's usually for the buildings. However, with such few troops left, there was an opportunity to snipe out the Nesta Bees, but it seems with the keep being up, Viper is going to concede back a little here. He doesn't want to throw away his troops. It's not like we're 2 minutes out from a Sacred Site victory.
Now, the question is like, what siege are we going for? Just traps for both, then we need to go for some repair. And, oh, look at that. Viper even walls off the side even further. Now gets in his first relic on the way. And this feels like now it's mass... Right rate. I want to say mass siege, mass towers.
Well, it's mass massacre. I guess you just stopped massacre. I think that's what it means, usually, as we're about to see. Villagers just getting clubbed down, and they're out in no man's land. That should be 4, maybe 5 going down at this rate. Meanwhile, second Treb wheeling out into the center, and one of the wood fortresses is going to go down, but I mean, Viper, he's going to start breaching, and it's all because Puppy didn't invest a small quantity of stone to protect these sides.
Another raid there. Still 50 villages ahead. PuppyPaw, honestly, like, if he had more farmers, he would be in a really good spot. I think he just needs to take the food in the center, get production, stall out for like 5 minutes, and then go like full production. Look at that. I honestly think PuppyPaw is not in a bad spot here.
Yeah, but this is the difference, right? Like, farms are pricey. In the modern day of gaming, we've identified that building farms, it's a very heavy investment initially. Meanwhile, Viper's just over here doing some money laundering. Like, the hunting cabins along the line of trees as well is just going to generate him so much gold in conjunction with the high trade house. That's why when you look at the GPM, he's got 1,000. He's matching. He's exceeding PuppyPaw, and I'm not even sure if he's got anyone on gold at this point.
Maybe he doesn't. Should be 400, 430, 530, just passive ones. So yeah, has to have some villagers on gold, but certainly crazy income. And as you can see, PuppyPaw, he maybe just burned through all his 8k gold and now needs to go for the center.
Yeah, because he's actually having to respond on the flanks. Viper is kind of pulling him apart. And actually, I wonder if Viper realizes if he just dives in the center, he could kill all his trebs. Just a few knights is all he needs. And actually, oh, the snipe down. He actually gets rid of the Nesta Beast. That's a freebie. And it looks like PuppyPaw is going to have to bail. And this is worrying because if you actually look at the Vayne situation, I think he has like 1 baby Vayne gold in reserve. Everything else is vulnerable to Viper's attacks.
Oh, actually, a bit of a bugged map, right? That the 8k gold spawns at the bottom of the cliff there. Could be something really nice for PuppyPaw if he realized that one, if he wants to go for it. But for now, things about to push through the center.
I gotta say, Nili, that would work against me. I would try and attack that with melee units. But luckily, for Viper, he has these crossbowmen, which make it nigh on impossible to mine. And PuppyPaw, with the great migration in the north, that's just more idle economy right now. Keep in mind that PuppyPaw, like, he's close to reaching his cap on what villages he wants right now. Meanwhile, Viper's cruising up to the number, while having midfield control, meaning he can actually use those villages productively.
Wood eco is just crazy for PuppyPaw. I think we need some more farmers, maybe transition onto a bit more gold. I think just stop villager production, as you said, go full all in, and actually squeeze through. Nice save.
Just about. Didn't want to delete the wall because you get rushed still through it, and you give him more ground. Like, he wants that double layer. He's running out of room. Like, this is what I was talking about earlier on, is this map is very much kind of, you have to be smart about how you use space. And farms, for a start, eat up a lot of that space. They can put you in uncomfortable positions, and if you're not putting your eco in uncomfortable positions, that means your military district is. So that's why PuppyPaw is in a fragile state. If he can't move out soon, he just might be stuck in the mud without a way of actually transitioning into counters.
I think PuppyPaw, with looking at his resources, should heavily switch away from wood and also pull his IOs away from it. I think he's still supervising his lumber camps.
I feel like he's playing Forest Nothing here, right? He needs more space for his base. Like, you can see he's even putting mills down here. He feels the same way. Like, this is why he's doing it. Because he can't move forward. So, yeah, PuppyPaw playing Forest Nothing, Viper playing King of the Hill, and you can see it as well as he's 4 minutes out now. Getting mighty close and easily taking down these defenses. Barbing Sun is going to crumble. Nice amount of trebs here, but the concern is, like, Viper now has the vision advantage, right? So he can sneak on you, and you maybe won't see him coming.
Pop 180, though. I honestly think, like, if he just continues to fully produce army now, shift his units a bit, maybe can go for a wild keep in the center. I still believe, yeah, timing is really tight. 3:30 to go. But his production should be good. Wow. Oh, no, that's not aggressive enough.
So let's test your belief system, Nili. Is the Earth flat?
No.
Okay, so there is a chance then. Let's see if PuppyPaw can do it. However, there are 2 keeps in the center. This is not going to get any easier. I can tell you that this area of the Earth is not flat, folks. There's a high hill that must be assaulted, and you can see with the double keep, it's not going to be an easy task for Puppy. And I don't know if he has the solution here. Going in. Archers counter him out. Remember, they get the bonus damage up against Spears. Nest of Bees targeting down the Springles. That's not a good trade. The wraparound, the Knights getting in here. That's not enough villages either. PuppyPaw, big mistakes made here. Didn't want to pull more eco forward. Won't get the keep up at this rate. Special Boost front line, half burned already. And now march in. Knights, they see the exposed siege line. Keep is going to go down. That's a big fat fail. PuppyPaw without the stone to build a second one up. And now only 2.5 minutes away from a snaky victory.
Military count pretty even, and if both are reset, the one with the better economy obviously will be easily reinforcing those numbers. We'll get onto a strong army again. It just feels like 45 military is not really what I see. I think PuppyPaw has to have some army somewhere else.
Yeah, they're all on holiday right now. PuppyPaw, this isn't as much a holiday as it is overtime and a job you don't like, because Viper is making this game incredibly frustrating, incredibly uncomfortable. Army mostly going to be burnt, but Viper, he still has the keeps in reserve. Trebuchets will be standing for the moment. Problem is the Trebs, they need to target out the keeps, while Vipers, they can just target out you.
70 pop lead for PuppyPaw. I honestly believe. This is like, Viper needs to pull villagers to repair here, and more than those.
Oh, well, right now, he's got a decent amount of Knights, though. That's the concern. The Knights can actually just sidestep around the Spears. You do need to be a little bit careful. And the keep is starting to pepper him down as well. He's getting in range of that. That's the bigger problem. In fact, Viper, he's paying him in range on purpose here. So although it seems like he's taking good trades, it's the keep evening up each time. And that's why military pop cap down to 50 for PuppyPaw. And remember, he doesn't have the premium units. Most of it is locked into siege, which isn't going to be a good front line here. Targets in. Nest of Bees trying to spray onto the crossbow still. And Knights will take advantage of the Springles. The Springles try to get rid of the backline of siege for Viper. And now, just 1 minute and 20 seconds away. This is getting a little bit tight. You know you have to go soon. One keep about to fall. Keep now looking to go up for PuppyPaw, but he's going to need a lot of villagers to get this up. And he can't get it up. It's blocked. It's blocked. Knights are in.
Traps are there. That should be an instant snipe.
Ooh,
that
I don't know.
should not go up.
He's going for it. The villagers. No! Denied again, and he didn't cancel it. Stone will not be going his way. PuppyPaw in a little bit of a pickle here. Less than 1 minute to go.
Warning.
We've got a lot of Nest of Bees in the field, though. This is the way you can maybe do it. PuppyPaw moving forward with 8 Nest of Bees now. Decent siege units up against the keep, and needs to get rid of the Trebs first. Repairs coming out. Viper
All the
keeping the green
villagers.
alive. All of them! He sends them all and arm the peasantry! Conscription is on, and they just burst in onto the keep. Torching one down. First one's going to fall. Second one needs to be gotten through, though. And Viper, as long as he keeps 1 or 2 troops on this point, he will be able to stop PuppyPaw from turning this about. Every villager, every man, woman, and even children are being handed shivs here. Moving in. Villagers coming in from Viper's camp as well. Nestaby's trying to push him back. He needs a few more troops out here. He doesn't need much longer. 15 seconds away. Viper, can he keep enough troops on the point? PuppyPaw looking like he might not get the decap. The second wave of villagers to keep him at bay. 5 seconds out. PuppyPaw cannot do it. He cannot get the decap. Viper will take the series.
60 pop against 180 pop. What did we just witness?
We witnessed... Is it the power of Roos or the power of Viper? I'm not even sure at this point. I mean, it's the power of the sniper. The amount of snipes he took onto those keeps to deny PuppyPaw even a chance of getting back into this game. What a phenomenal showing from the stake.
Oh, if it's last 10 seconds longer, PuppyPaw wins this game. There's nothing left. There's nothing left of Viper at the end of the game.
Yeah, it's all in. It's going to be a husk at the end of that, right? Like, I love this from Viper, though. It's the playing to win. He's playing to win. That's the difference here. How many players do you know, Nili, in that situation that would have went, I can't hold it. I'm just going to go back, rebuild my economy. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Not Viper. And it's not just because, oh, I've already qualified, lol, what do I care? No, it's because he understands at this level of play, you can't be that frigid about it, right? Playing to survive is nice, but we're playing a PvP game. Only one person can win. This isn't your DayZ session. You need to go in and you need to get the dub. And that's exactly what Viper does in such a magnificent way.
Just a beautiful, beautiful game of Age of Empires here. Oh, that was so close. And I believed, right? People called me crazy when there was like 4 minutes left. Viper had like tower set up, keep set up. But I felt like enough siege. And I think if we get like 2-3 snipes against the traps there, and if he maybe pulls villagers a bit earlier, gets the traps, PuppyPaw that is, and then PuppyPaw gets those keeps up, right? He lost 2 keeps instantly. If one of them goes up, I think he can break the Viper there.
I think more likely people were questioning whether you truly believe the Earth was flat, and I mean, and now we have to throw it into question as well. I mean, you believe maybe a little bit too hard. I mean, you're almost heartbroken when you see those villagers go in and just being held back by a few. I wonder, like, is that something that maybe? Okay, so here's an interesting thought. Do you like the way that like Sacred Site victories work right now, or do you feel like as long as both players have a unit on the site, it should go like overtime? That makes sense, right? Because like a lot of different game modes that have these type of capture the point modes have that, right? As long as you have someone on the point, it can delay the finish.